Doreen Blaker, KBIC Housing Department Director, Policy Revisions.
Good morning. As discussed last week, I'm bringing forth pet policy, and I'm asking for some revisions. I left a lot of it. It was still pertinent from the old policy that was then approved again by the council in 2018, but in lieu of the issues that we discussed and closed, this is a reflection of what we had discussed, and I'm bringing forward to add into the policy. Number 2, applicability. I added on the guidelines are applicable to all tenants of the KBIC rental program who are going to take on the responsibilities of pet ownership. The requirements of registration, there is a security deposit of $50. I put in parentheses, would you like that raised? Yes or no? I could raise it up to whatever the council wanted. And it's specifically towards any kind of damages, I guess.
So there's a deposit plus insurance.
It's a $50 one for any damages to the unit. Does the council want to leave it at 50, or would you like it raised? It's just discussion. Last time in 2018 they said leave it the same. I'm just asking again.
Okay, have you noticed a lot of damage when someone's moved out? And did the 50 cover it?
Yeah.
Probably more damage from cats.
Yeah, but that's a pet too.
So if it's fine, then if you scroll down, I left in there.
The deposit never covers it, huh?
No.
No.
Okay, insurance. Pet owners are required to provide proof of renter's insurance at the time of pet registration. Now, it has to be a renter's insurance, not a pet insurance. Pet insurance covers pets. Their visits to the ER or the vet and operations and stuff. So there's a difference between pet insurance and
Renter's insurance.
renter's insurance. Thank you, Gary. Then I just kind of... then on E, I just kind of switched it up a little. Listed are the permissible and non-permissible pets. All pets must be insurable. I didn't actually change any of that. I just kind of switched up, kept the permissible ones on top and put the non-permissible ones on the bottom.
So how would you know if there's a no attack or fight trained dog?
Because they have to be an insured dog.
They got a whole list of dogs
Yeah.
that are insurable.
And when an insurance company looks at, they'll ask you a series of questions. Do you have a pool? Do you have a trampoline? Do you have a pet? What type of pet? And the reason that they look at that is you can have a great big dog that is very friendly, but if for some reason it bit somebody, the damage would be more severe than a smaller dog. And they kind of look at, that's kind of what they look at it with. And there are companies that will insure the bigger ones.
They look at what traits your dog exhibits.
Yeah.
You can say it's a mutt because it's not AKC registered or doesn't have papers, but they'll come and look at it. And if it
Well, who's the deciding factor? Who makes the decision about whether the animal meets the quality? The insurance provider or you?
The insurance provider. I actually asked an insurance provider, like, oh, we don't cover pets. I mean, they just flat out said, we don't cover pets.
Some don't.
Yeah. And Gary, you actually had a good example where you found a company that would cover your specific breed.
They asked us them 3 questions. You have a trampoline, a pool, dog. You say yes to dog, then what kind? Oh, it's a mutt. Well, we're gonna come and see what it looks like. They will come and look at your dog. You adjust it. So if it's got the jaws and ears, it looks like a pit bull.
So what are you going to use to determine that the pet is eligible?
If it's insurable.
Insurable.
Yeah. Then we're not saying, well, Tony, your mutt can stay, but Gary, your mutt can't. You know, you just brought up a mixed breed kind of thing. It's going to be, Tony, may I see your insurance? Gary, may I see your insurance?
Yeah. Looks good.
And then just on the final one here, I added another section. All pet owners will renew their pet registration on a yearly basis and provide the following documentation. Proof of yearly vaccine record. I kind of did a little bit of research on that, and cats and dogs have different types of vaccines that they may or may not have to have. So an updated year, and I think rabies is one that you do every year.
Is there insurance policy limits that we need to express, like 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 per occurrence? Is a minimum, or what are they? What insurance are they
third-party
buying?
liability goes up to like 100,000.
So I'm wondering if we have to institute that in our pet policy, because
We could.
what, can you buy a minimum policy that, doesn't do nothing, but it meets the goal, I got a policy. I'm just-
So on proof
I don't
of
know.
renter's insurance, you would want to, we could add that in there. Proof of third-party liability up to,
Yeah, I don't know what's
give me an amount.
appropriate,
I don't know either. I'll put that right
Want
here.
to make sure that it's something that's substantial, or,
All right.
not $1 million, but, not
I think we
$500.
Need to find out what the average is, I think.
I can
cover
do
it.
that.
Yeah.
I'll put must have third-party liability coverage. Photo of current pet. So that would be every year that they'd have to do that. And then I just added in G, violation of pet policy. Any tenant who violates the pet policy will receive written infractions that may require tenant to remove the pet from the premises permanently. And then 2, continued or serious violations of the pet policy will lead to a 7-day notice to quit and possible eviction. We have very good pet owners, and then this happened. You're never gonna have 100% responsible, but this actually allows for a little more of an expedited process if someone isn't following the pet policy.
Does housing ever do any education for tenants on rent insurance?
Well, actually, yeah, I remember as a tenant, I had received it, we had actually put some out, but I did look at Ameren, and I had talked to somebody, and they had told me that it didn't cover pets, but I'm gonna call, and then my inquiry actually came back, and they have something called a Community Shield Program process, and I just wanted to mention that. We have, and people just don't take renter's insurance. You don't realize you need it till something happens. But this Community Shield, and I'm just gonna read this, I just got this morning. So, an application and documents would be submitted by housing submits documents to Ameren completes a quote, sends it back to housing presents the quote to the applicants, which would be the tenants. If accepted, the applicant signs the quote. Policy is issued and emailed to housing for distribution. Monthly billing statement is sent to housing. Payment is made by housing to Ameren. It would be the responsibility of the tenant to pay that. This is just an idea.
Housing acts as the broker, and it's a blanket policy for our renter's insurance for everybody in housing. So that would be a program that you would institute if you made it a lease requirement.
Right.
Yeah,
I need to call
And
it.
then you act as the broker and sign everybody up for the renter's
Right.
policy, and then you pay the bill,
Yeah.
but you collect from elderly tenants. The tenants
Right.
don't pay Ameren directly.
So it's
I think
a
that'd be
Community
great.
Shield Program. Homeowner policy is administered by the tribe. Each homeowner carries their own policy. Insurance 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4. Insurer 2 is 1, 2, 3, 5. Housing authority responsible for payment to Ameren. Tribe insures coverages, which we already do, provided on the home. And then, let me jump to the other document she sent.
Because maybe you can get a discount for a bunch of them.
Right.
If you're gonna make
And,
it mandatory across the board, then that would be.
right. So then they said the coverage would be for 1 year, and this is just a quote. They put out pre-quotes at 150 annual premium with a minimum of 1,000 deductible. And here is where they have 2 options. The first one is personal property, 500 or 75. Loss of use, I'm not sure what that is, 5,000. Personal liability or third part, I'm almost wondering if that's third party, because then option 1 has 200,000, option 2 has 500,000. Medical payments of 1,000. So I'm gonna give her a call and talk to her a little bit on this, and I'll bring this to council for a little more discussion on this.
Yeah, that seems pretty high. I mean, you would think it would just be the contents for the renter, pretty much.
Well, this is, when they talk personal property is the belongings in the home, personal liability is a third-party coverage for legal medical expenses in the event the homeowner is found legally liable for property damage or causing injury. Loss of use, and I just realized it's here, paid expenses due to partial or total covered loss, lodging, meals, clothing, etc. Medical expenses, coverage for minor medical injuries. I'd like to ask her a little bit about that.
Smoke inhalation or?
You know, I don't know. But I'll look into that, and I'll bring that back to council to, I'll bring this back next week. I'll call Lena here and talk with her a little bit more on what it covers and,
Different options.
yeah.
Lena Duncan?
What's that?
Lena Duncan?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look up her name.
Oh.
I just remember, if I remember the first name, that's good for me. But I'll give her a call and I'll talk with her and I'll bring some more, information to the council. If we do a requirement like that for tenant insurance, I think that should be a council decision that gets added into the policy book.
Do you want action on this policy now?
I do
or-
want that, so it
Okay.
can,
I'll move.
Support.
Motion, Tony.
no, that's the
Kim.
insurance.
This is the pet policy.
This is the policy.
Uh,
But I would like to get this in and then inform tenants that this is here and then begin looking at, what we have to do here.
Motion, Tony, supported Kim.
Do we know what types, the breeds of dogs that are going to be considered as non-insurable?
Well, see, that, you weren't here
The
for that
flip side,
discussion,
I
but.
wasn't here on
You're
the
right.
flip side of it, and I was just wondering if that should be defined by breed, if we already know what
That's
they
gonna
are,
be-
if there were any.
That's gonna be dependent on the insurance company. Some will insure some dogs that, it's usually boxers,
German
pit
Shepherds,
bulls,
Rottweilers,
shepherds, rods.
Dobermans probably.
German
So,
Shepherds,
yeah,
pit
so
bulls.
if you've got an insurance and
Rottweilers.
it
Those are
don't
all
cover that,
common.
they won't
The
cover it,
littles.
let's put it that way.
They won't insure.
You have to tell them that you have that particular brand, so if it isn't insurable, you can't have it in
My
house.
my German Shepherd was insurable, it was just an additional premium.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I think, Gary, that's what you did.
And we had to switch insurance companies because
So-
Yeah, I did
our-
too.
Contingent on being
I had to dismantle
insurable.
my.
And that doesn't make us decide like Tony can have a dog and you can't.
Take
because-
down your pool
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Fill it in.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay.
I really have a question.
So for G, violations of pet policy, I, it says anytime the violation of this pet policy will receive written infractions. How many infractions can they get?
3. And that's in the policy, if I
3?
remember it, yeah.
It should be
So they
based
can
on the,
mess up 3 times.
should be based on the severity.
No, it's not
of the
mess up
action.
3 times. When you look at that to me
An
is,
infraction is a mess up.
that to me, when I look at written infraction, is you haven't registered your pet. Only that.
It should
If
be
it's a,
just
if
take
it,
the
but
S
if you
off,
look at
just
number
put
2,
infraction.
if you look at
That's
number
my
2,
opinion.
yeah, continued or serious violation, that's different. You can, if it's something
Yeah, that one
that's,
covers that one.
yeah. But it is in the policy, it's in the admin and
That's all,
occupancy.
that's all.
So what,
Right.
so what's?
I didn't change that. That's from previous policy, 3
I'm
infractions.
just saying, take it out.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor.
Do you want me to put specific amount?
Just take the S off.
S?
Why?
Okay.
Why?
Oh, hold on, I'm gonna take the S out and just put written infraction. Okay, no, that was a good point. I see what you're saying now.
So you get one.
One bite at the
Warning.
apple. That's,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, I still support it.
More questions?
Rough.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Motion carries with changes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doreen.